Okay folks, let's see what we can do with this one. This will be an interesting one. This one's also featured large areas of mostly green and black like the last one, which was an AirPods cover. So we're now going to do another green one, but let's see if we can somehow make it a bit different. Maybe turn it into a two-colour job instead of making it all green. So we're going to make this into something more interesting. I don't know how big we're going to make it. We're just going to take the original as it comes. This photocopier makes that horrible tapping noise. Tap, 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 tap. Like that. Okay, let's see what we have to demo with. It's really small. It's a pair of board shorts for kids, children's board shorts. And we're interested in this lovely pattern. I think this side might be the better side, perhaps. So we're just going to put that on the glass, make that into something interesting. I don't know if we're going to crumple it or just leave it as it is. Just try and flatten it out. How big are we going to make it? That's a good question. Going to make it 400. That's all straight and up and down. I wasn't expecting that. Going to twist it. I'm going to make it more close to vertical, because that's how it's lining up, one vertical. So I do think, do we have to move it further? Sorry, I'm not showing you properly. I'm just pointing the camera down, which is really bad work on my part. Yeah, I remember looking back just under a decade when I started making these demos, that the camera angles were really bad. The camera was almost always pointing down, and it wasn't I rarely showed the actual finished artwork, because I was pointing the camera like I didn't care or something, and it was really bad work that I did on the side of it, on the sides. It was really bad. But I've done a lot of work, but I still sometimes find myself pointing the camera down when I shouldn't, and it really annoys me when I do that. When I find that I'm doing that, it's really annoying. So I can understand if you guys get annoyed that I somehow start getting into that habit again, and that looks shit house. I'm just wondering what we can do to make this more interesting. We could perhaps make it a rumpled job. We could probably just crumple the fabric, make it look more interesting shapes and all that. Maybe drop the dock feeder onto it to squash it down and see what we get. Yeah, that looks interesting, but it still doesn't look quite what I'm after. Just trying to make it really rumpled. Yeah, again, that looks shit house. That looks worse than that. That looks a bit better in some ways, and this looks shit. Wondering, we still got that area there where there's nothing there. Looks like a void. Not quite a void, but an area where there's nothing. Maybe it's the black part of the fabric. No, it doesn't look like it. Maybe it's elsewhere. So I'm just going to really get stuck in and rumple the living shit out of this. Trying to get somewhere with it. Feels like I'm fighting with the material, folks. Like I'm just trying my best and doesn't seem to be cooperating on me, but that looks a lot better. I do think this could make a nice mirror image. That looks a bit straight across, but it looks better than this shit. Wondering where the centre of the job is going to be. Going to make it there. I was thinking this was going to be, but we might do what's known as a switcheroo if we find we need to confirm that we've got the best arrangement. So that's our yellow version coming out. I think we can probably arrange this in more than one manner. So that's that, and that's that. Yeah, folks, I'm trying to get this material that I create to go on to the 6 o'clock primetime news on the TV. It's really proven to be more difficult than not. And it really is difficult, and I try my best to produce the best work I can most of the time without my human side overshadowing the artist, because there's always a conflict between the artist and the human, because the human wants to get the job done regardless, and the artist wants to make it a brilliant piece even if it takes more time. So we just showed that. That's the cyan. We're just going to print off now a green and black. So yeah, I'm always fighting against the human, folks, and there's always a conflict. So let's see how this looks as a second mirrored piece. Trying to line the pieces up nicely. Trying not to bump them or nudge them out of place. The ones that are already in place. Yeah, that looks really quite nice. I think we can now put the just going to see how we do this, folks. So this first, I've got to try and remember, but now we had the magenta in the top right, now the yellow's in the top right, and we're switching these around to make something interesting or better. Or maybe equal in some respects, in some instances. Sometimes you can do 4-way switcheroo where everything is shown, because thinking that there could be a better version. Yeah, more than one way. So that's the second, which looks brilliant. I do think next one will be. Deep breath, folks. So we're going to put the cyan in the top right corner, and these are going to just switch around. So the only one that hasn't been in the top right corner, if I remember correctly, is the green. If I remember, sorry folks if I forget, because I have memory problems. I have a problem with both my short-term memory and my hippocampus, which were damaged at birth. Had a cord around my neck and I came out feet first. And yep, and these two parts of the brain are the ones that suffer. That looks shithouse compared with the other one I did. But basically, I had brain damage, and it's affected my learning, it's affected my memory of short term, and I just can't learn new things all that easily. It's fucked. It's worse now that I'm in my late 40s. I'm now nearly 50. I'll be turning 50 on the 1st of January 2023. So I'll be turning 50. Now I'm not getting any younger, and I'm trying to get in touch with Luigi, my partner, so we can get married before then. Hopefully before then. Anyway, that's got a nice depth to it. I think we've now completed it. I think we can call it quits.